Hello everyone, and welcome to Joshua Essex with me, Josh. This is a YouTube channel where we try and use logic, reasoning and common sense to make sense of the world around us and work out what's going on. If you do like this sort of thing, please do like the videos as you watch them. Feel free to go subscribe, watch my other videos and leave a comment about anything we've spoken about today. Just to help the channel grow, because you may not know aware of this, you might like this sort of stuff. A lot of other people do. Getting lots of private messages of people thanking me for doing these sort of videos, so feel free to make your thoughts known, and we'll just get into it. So what we're talking about today is something that's kind of become part of the furniture and has become a part of, everyday life. And the idea of this video is to remind you, no, it shouldn't be part of normal everyday life. And basically, you've got to be vocal and you've got to be part of the change to kind of put things back to the way they were. Because what I'm about to talk about, we didn't have this issue 20, 30 years ago. Something happened, something changed, and now we do. So we can go back to a time like that. We just need to kind of make that happen. So we can do that by talking about it more. So please feel free to share this video around, and we'll get into it. So what we're talking about today is essentially hostile vehicle mitigation, or as I like to call it, diversity barriers. So what these are barriers that you'll see in capital cities all over Europe now, and at certain events and events. The idea of them is they are to stop vehicles from passing through into areas they shouldn't. For example, on pavements. Now, the reason we're talking about this is because it's the middle of November, which means obviously it's Christmas time. If you're like me and you wait till December to start celebrating Christmas, then hey, I'd love to talk to you more. If you're already celebrating Christmas, then you do you. You'll probably be burnt out in a few weeks' time, but there we go. So, reason we're talking about that is because now that you've got Christmas markets, you've got these. In Bournemouth, where I live, we've got a Christmas market that's currently already been built, and yep, we've got some barriers all dotted around there because there's multiple ways of driving into the square, and because of that, we now can't celebrate things without having a layer of security around us. So, as I said, we used to have Christmas markets where this never was a thing. You just went there to enjoy yourself. But as we go through the next 5-10 minutes of this video, we're going to see why that's changed and have a quick chat about it at the end. So, without any further ado, what I've got here is a list of vehicle ramming attacks. So, these have all been classed as terrorist attacks involving vehicles. Now, it's because of these attacks, we now have these barriers in place. So next time you look at a barrier, this is why it's there. It's not just a precaution or anything like that. There's a reason they're there, because things have happened and it's to stop them happening again. However, there are other ways of stopping them happening again, which we'll cover at the end. So I'm not going to go through this list of all the different attacks. I'm going to go through the ones that I remember vividly from watching the news at the time, and that have happened in the West because I live in the West. So, first one then. Nice. This was back in 2016. 8 have been found guilty over a deadly Bastille Day lorry attack. So, for those that don't remember, there's actually a very vivid image of this. A lorry, that lorry in that picture there, literally drove down a pavement and it just basically attacked a lot of people. So as you can see there, 86 people were killed as a part of it. I don't think it's how many others were injured, but there was a crowd of 30,000 people who've been enjoying firework display on France's National Day. People don't know what Bastille Day is, go look it up. It's funny because the actual story itself is completely meaningless about why they take the Bastille, but ceremoniously they remember it. So never mind. So essentially, 7 men and a woman were sentenced for special court in Paris to jail terms ranging from 2 to 18 years. So, firstly, the attacker, Mohammed, he was shot dead, so good luck. Well done convicting him. You've convicted a dead man. That literally means nothing. The rest of them, Mohammed and Chokri, both Tunisians, were friends of the kiddo, given 18 years in jail. Ramzi, don't know where he's from, Arifa, he's given 12 years providing weapons. 5 other defendants, 4 Albanians and another Tunisian, were given other jail terms. And Islamic State, you remember those guys, jihad, take over the world. Yeah, they said that they were, they claim responsibility, but they never found anything. So think of that. 86 people were killed because random bloke in a lorry decided this, I'm going to do this, for whatever reason. We never know because he got shot. So there we are. Number 2, another lorry attack, this time in Berlin. So this was in 2016, if I recall. And essentially, a lorry smashed to a crowded Christmas market in central Berlin, killing 12 people and injuring 49, leaving 18 in critical condition. So the attacker, Anis Amri, Tunisian, he was unalived by the police in Italy afterwards. So essentially, what had happened was, it was a Polish truck. He had unalived the Polish driver, who was found in the truck afterwards, went to this market, drove through all these people, got out, hopped it off to Italy, where they found him and gave him a good popping. So, no 72 virgins for that bloke. There we are. So, that's another example. Let's go to one a bit more at home. London Bridge. So I don't know if people remember this. There was 3 terrorists who rammed a car into a bunch of people. Hence now why we have these diversity barriers at London Bridge. Then they got out and then they started going around stabbing people. So they killed unalived. I've already said it. They've unalived 7 people and wounded 48. And then they went on a stabbing spree. Now, just kind of point out who these people were. So Khurram Butt, Pakistani-born British citizen. So he wasn't British, he's Pakistani. Rashid Red, born in Morocco of Libyan descent. And Youssef Zagbar, Italian. Though I very much doubt you can trace his lineage back to sort of the Romans, if any wins. So, those were the people that did it. And just a little silver lining about the London Bridge story. I don't know if anyone remembers this guy, Roy Lana. So, I think he was in a pub at the time. I'm a bit shaking the details. He encountered the terrorists and he said, "F you, I'm Millwall." And then, there we go. They then proceeded to turn him into a bit of a human pincushion. However, thanks to Roy's actions that day, be it a few seconds or a whole minute, who knows, that distracted them from obviously going after anyone else. And then the police showed up and they popped them, and now they're in the dirt without their virgins. So, what I would just say is obviously hats off to Roy. I think he got a lot of respect after that. And I would just say, I hope that if anything like that ever happens again, we've got more people like him, getting there and stopping that from happening. So thank you, Roy. Another one, Stockholm. Who is Rakhmat Akilov? So he's convicted of ploughing a truck into a department store in central Stockholm, unaliving 5 people. He was denied residency in Sweden and expressed sympathy for so-called Islamic State. So he was a Uzbekistan asylum seeker, and essentially, he couldn't get residency. He was an Islamic supporter, and so he decides to get a truck and drive it into a group of innocent people. I think you can start to see a theme here. So that's it. Now, one thing I will just say, I haven't got the news article up, but straight away after this happened, there was people in the Swedish media who, rather than sort of saying, "Oh, this man is bad," or, the people from his sort of ideology are bad, they tried banning cars from Stockholm. So you can see this sort of, they call it suicidal empathy, where you sort of get the white liberals, they're so hell-bent on sort of not assigning blame to the people who should be blamed, that they would actually say, no, let's just not have cars in our city, because that makes sense. Yeah, morons. Right, let's go to something a bit more recent then. This was in New Orleans. SBI releases investigation update into Bourbon Street attack. Again, this is a case at the start of this year, end of last year, I do apologise. He got a car, drove it into a group of people, where 57 were injured, 14 were unalived, and there was a total of 136 victims. So, yeah. So, evidence obtained in the ongoing investigation indicates Jabbar, not Jabba, we'll call him Jabba, a bit baddie, became a much more devout Muslim in 2022. He began isolating himself from society, and around the spring of 2024, Jabbar began following extremist views. Next one. This one was the start of this, I think it was start of this year, end of last year. You've already remembered it. It was a Christmas market where essentially foreign doctor, we use that term, drove into a Christmas market, killing 2 people, including a small child, and many more injured. So that I remember that was on the news. That was very front and center. And there he is. Hello, right. He's a Saudi-born doctor who arrived in Germany in 2006. 10 years later, was granted asylum status. Now, one thing I will say, he was very critical of Islam and had some right-wing conspiracy views, which probably means in a year's time they're all proven to be correct. But he's absolutely bat crazy. So the fact that, anyway, that's him. So, and yeah, not a great person. Again, imported a foreign doctor. Look what happened. And last but not least, I'd say the most recent one. This was the synagogue attack in Manchester. So, this fella, turned out he did a lot more horrible things before this, including forcing himself upon his wife who had recently converted to the religion of peace. He was in Manchester. He attacked a synagogue, people with a car. Then he came out and started shanking people. He was popped at the scene, and yeah, that's him. So, in a nutshell, those are very few of all the hostile vehicle incidents that we've had in the last 10 years. There are many more, but I've only just picked up on those ones. Otherwise, we'll be here forever and you'll probably tune out. But the important thing to remember about this is when you look at one of these diversity barriers, you should just ask, why are they here? Well, they're here because we've imported people into the West, into our own country, who don't like us, don't want to be a part of us. And as you saw, many of them either come from a country that practice a certain ideology or practice that certain ideology. And in their eyes, we're next to nothing. And we either need to be converted or conquered. So when you look at a diversity barrier and you say, why are they here? Once you do that train of thought, the next question you should ask is, why are they here? So I want to thank you for watching this video. I know it's not the most fun one, but essentially the whole purpose of this channel is just to kind of make people aware what is happening around them. We don't need these diversity barriers at our Christmas markets or on our streets just to feel a little bit safer. No, we need to be removing the people who cause those barriers to be there. And we're not going to do that unless we can all finally agree, yes, that's the reason they're there, and let's get these people out of our country. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening. If you're already celebrating Christmas, then Merry Christmas to you. If, like me, you're waiting until December, then have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, feel free to write a comment, and have a great day. Bye-bye.